We started our event at the Bowlers Club in Latham, New York, with 145 of the world's best. 48 combined titles, 4 majors. Heading into our TV show today, 35 of which belong to Walter Ray Williams Jr., but he's been knocked out by Chris Barnes. Hey, Brian, Randy Peterson, our entire crew. Randy, time now for this week's Dexter Approach.
Take a look here at Tommy DeLutz's game. What a beautiful swing. Starts with the ball a little bit higher than most. Short backswing, but this is what I love. Look at this. That's the fall through going directly to the target, and look at that open hand. Now here's the drift left with the slide foot going back in here to fill in. Now the thing about this week was we went from wood approaches to synthetics, changes that heel and that sole to combat any surface he's sliding on. He does not like to slide, Dave.
So far he's made a pretty good adjustment. Tommy DeLutz Jr. subject to this week's Dexter Approach. Works on a spare. 6th frame. Oh, 10 in the pin.
You know, I think the other thing that's really impressed me about Tommy DeLutz is that he's learned when to whoop it up and when not to control his emotions. He knows that this game wasn't over in the 3rd or 4th frame, even though Doug started with a front 4. As you see, a strike percentage a little bit higher in the tournament than it was all season long. But see, he's keeping his emotions intact. He didn't let what Doug Kent did early on affect him mentally.
Strike here's got a 4-pin lead. There it is.
See how low-key he is, Dave? He's just kind of keeping everything under control. And then when it comes down to the 9th and 10th frame and he needs one, you're going to watch him erupt. He looks really, really comfortable. Got his wits about him. He's nice and in control. Nicely in control.
Back to the 10. Comes in high.
This lane is going crazy here.
Well, that ball started hooking as soon as it hit the lane. A lot easier than the 3, 6, 9, 10, obviously.
Doug Kent participates next week in the TOC. Who will take it home? Will it be the '87 champion Pete Weber bowled very well this week in Albany? Or perhaps the 2000 champ Jason Couch, the left-hander, the only player to win it back-to-back. Some of the PBA's best have never won the Tournament of Champions, including Walter Ray Williams Jr. He'll be in action again, as will Brian Voss, next Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern Time, 10 on the West Coast, on ESPN. Strike for Kent.
He's locked in on the left lane. That's probably why he chose to finish on that lane. I've never won the TOC.
And you're in after your Pepsi Open Championship.
Thank you. I did finish 3rd once.
Looks for a triple. Tommy DeLutz Jr. from Queens, New York City. 16-pin lead. Got it. Special thanks go out to Carol Judge, proprietor of the Bowlers Club in Latham, New York. Just about a 10-minute drive from where we are on the Siena College campus in Loudonville. Great host, Carol and her staff. Really enthusiastic crowd in the matches we saw yesterday, the 16s and the 8s.
You know, and they really appreciate us coming here. Carol Judge and her crew they do a great job. And the thing that really impresses me is that the fans here in Albany are very well-educated fans. They know a lot about bowling.
They have helped fill up our arena today at Siena. 4-pin.
All right. Ball drifts just a pinch high. Tommy's doing what he needs to do. He's keeping the ball in play, hitting the pocket. Remember, under the lights, the heat, the lanes start to heat up, that oil starts to break down, players are going to start moving left. This week's pattern was 43 feet long from foul line towards the pins. Next week at the Tournament of Champions, Dave Ryan, 50 feet of oil. We've never bowled on it before.
And the synthetic via surface. Same setup next week, the Mohegan Sun, Uncasville, Connecticut. The first major of the season.
Doug can strike out for 253 and shut out Tommy DeLutz. It's all going to be predicated on what he does on this lane.
Proper adjustments on lane 4.
Now, the last 2 shots on this lane both went right through the face. The obvious move is left. Perfect move, and that ball just flushes the 1-3 pocket. Now, 2 strikes in the 10th frame and 6 pins. Doug Kent will face Chris Barnes in the final.
That's what he needs. Looking for another. There's one.
That puts him in the 240s, and that's going to force Tommy DeLutz to at least double. The next one and 6. It's going to be a rematch of the match we saw last week against Chris Barnes and Doug Kent, which Doug won and advanced to the television finals.
One time. One time.
Last week, Traber and Duke in a great final. Sudden death roll-off, first we've had on TV in the history of the PBA. It was dramatic then. This is high drama now for Kent. 7 wiggles, but won't go down.
Not a bad shot at all. This ball gets into the light zone, the switch zone. And on these via pins, that usually strikes. Watch Tommy DeLutz's eyes get really big. Okay, I've got a chance. I got life.
A double and a 5-pin count, and DeLutz is in business. Picks up a 7. And a 242 for Doug Kent. Had a chance to shut out DeLutz if he had struck there and gotten a nice count. However, daylight for Tommy. Has a championship, a 4-1 record in arena play. Loves the setting, responds.
And absolutely no emotion, like we talked about. He's keeping it under control. You know, what's amazing is the last time we bowled on the B pattern, it was Tommy's first check he's missed since we've gone to the new format, which was in Memphis. He's 1 strike and 5 pins away from bowling for the title on the same pattern.
Strike and 5 to win. That event in Memphis in October, he finished 86th. This time, pattern B has gone well for him. How well? Oh, 10 pin.
Boy, that looked like a pretty good shot. You heard Tommy yell. He thought, there's Doug Kent. You know, he thought that that was going to strike.
Great match.
Doug Kent has won. He'll face Chris Barnes in the championship match.
Doesn't get any better than that.
Threw a good ball. He knew it. Really thought he had what he needed on lane 4. Great run for DeLutz Jr. Will end here in Albany in the semifinals. Doug Kent of Newark, New York, with a huge cheering section, takes on Barnes for the championship next. 8 titles in the careers of Doug Kent and Chris Barnes combined. 1 will come away a champion today, leading up to the TOC next week. Don't forget, tonight on ESPN, the NFL continues to push toward the playoffs. The Vikes and Randy Moss go to Lambeau Field in the frozen tundra to take on Brett Favre, the MVP candidate of the NFL this year. He plays so well when it's cold, and it's going to be in the 30s tonight in Green Bay. Welcome back, everyone. Dave Ryan, Randy Peterson, our entire crew. Great crowd and emotional setting here today in Albany. So 2 bowlers head-to-head who have been so good all year but haven't won so far on tour this season. Who comes out with a victory in your opinion today?
Well, I never like to root against anybody, but I think after the move that Chris Barnes made in his match, that big giant step, 15 boards right with his feet, 8 boards with his target, piping it, I like his action.
So big adjustment. A lot of confidence for Chris Barnes as well heading into this championship round. Let's look at the championship recap now, right?
Okay. Doug, you can't hear in the first match. He's going around it. You see him waving that ball to get to the pocket. Defeating Steve Jarris. Semifinal number 1. There's that big move. That ball's just a beeline to the 1-3. Semifinal number 2. Tommy DeLutz needs this hit to advance. That ball comes in just a shade light, leaving the weak 10. And Doug knows that he just got a huge break there.
That's our championship recap.